Thanks, Godfrey. The Department of Inland Revenue is embarking on operation enhancement measures this particular year, and we're very pleased to have the Chief Valuation Officer and Controller of Inland Revenue in the house this morning to speak a little bit more about what's happening within that department. Mr. Roger Forbes, welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here. Good morning, Bahamas.
Good morning. Good morning. I don't know if you spent your weekend watching football or you were to work, but this morning we're very pleased to be talking about obviously a very important aspect of government business, and that is obviously collection of revenue. You guys are making some changes within the tax compliance section to make that more efficient. Can you tell us how that's going?
Yes, of course. Of course, there are several initiatives that are currently underway, and what I think that the taxpayers need to be aware of at this stage, especially with respect to the value-added tax, is that the filing and payment deadline has been changed.
Okay.
Previously, it was the 28th of the month following the tax period. Now it has been moved to the 21st. So come the 21st of this month, January, taxpayers for the month, for the period, December needs to be filed. Also, for the quarter ending December, needs to file.
What was the reason for those date changes?
Well, to harmonize, the flow of revenue and etc.
So, what does this mean for Bahamians, generally speaking?
Well, it means that for taxpayers, it means that they have to file 1 week earlier, right? And of course, there are several other initiatives going on with respect to business license. Okay. Business license expired 31st of December each year. The filing for 2017 business license should be completed and into the department by the end of this month, January. And of course, payments should be made by the end of March this year.
So you've seen probably a lot of requests for information during this particular process. I noticed that you've been doing a lot of advertising in the media as well. What has been the response from not just the business community but Bahamians in general? Well,
Bahamians in general, the response has been fairly good, but I think it could be better. It appears that we as Bahamians like to leave things for the last minute, and so we are asking taxpayers to come forward early and avoid the penalties, because there are penalties for late filing, there are penalties for late payment. And of course, with respect to the real property tax, that's another enhancement. You can now register your real property online and you could pay online, right? So wherever you are in the Bahamas, we are pleased to say that the value-added tax, the business license, and the real property tax are all online. And I think this is a great accomplishment. It's much easier for taxpayers. It reduces the time, the waiting time at the department. There's no need to tow lines. No need to traverse the traffic, etc. And of course, if you pay early by or before the end of March, there's a 10% discount on real property tax, right? And of course, there's also the amnesty for real property tax that is still in effect. Actually, it ends the 30th of June. But if a real property tax holder who has arrears pays that arrears between now and the end of March, there is 100% waiver on the surcharge. If they are unable to meet that deadline and they make the payment of the taxes by the end of June, then there's a 50% surcharge. And of course, we have senior citizens, right? We want our senior citizens to be aware that there is a 50% discount on their real property tax bill.
And senior citizens is what
Senior
age?
Citizens means that you are at the age of 65 or you're in possession of the pension under the National Insurance Board. Of course, it's limited to owner-occupied properties, and it's only up to $1 million.
When you say owner
owner
And occupied.
occupied.
Okay.
Yeah, that means that's your dwelling place.
Okay.
And it
All
cannot be, the property cannot be used for any commercial business and that sort of thing, right?
Well, we would have noted in the some of the headlines, at least in the business section last week, relative to real property tax, the increases that would have occurred came as a shock to a lot of people, especially businesses. It just seems like the prices and the rates would have quadrupled in some instances. Can you speak a little bit more about that?
Oh, sure. Firstly, let me say that properties should be revalued by law every 5 years. What the department has discovered is that many of the properties are undervalued, right? And so some attempts are being made to bring equity into the system, right? And so therefore you will find that in some instances the value of properties would have been increased. Of course, letters would have been sent out. If you have any objection to the value, you're free, or any taxpayer is free to come in, and we look at the value just to make sure that it's the right value that was placed.
How did you come about with the valuation in terms of the increase?
Well, the valuation by and large is based on market value.
Okay.
Yes.
But it's not particularly market value in this instance for your department?
I would say yes. Yeah. I would say yes, but sometimes if you get 3 valuators to go out, you probably may get 3 different prices, or there may be something unique about a property that may not have been taken into account, and this is why we say if you have any question, come in and talk with us.
I would imagine.
And of course, there's something else on the real property tax online that I want to say, and that is that persons who want to register the property and pay online should go to propertytax.gov.bs.
Okay,
yes.
Great. And of course, they can always call or come on into the department.
Sure, they could always call. Our web page is inlandrevenue.finance.gov.bs. Yes.
Well, I tell you, Mr. Forbes, it's not always an easy topic. Taxes is not one of those things we jump up and down to kind of talk about or even come in and pay, but certainly you've made yourself available for us this morning on Bahamas At Sunrise. Really appreciate that.
It's a pleasure being here, and we ask anyone who has any question to please come in or call, talk with us.
Okay, excellent. There you have it. We've been talking with Mr. Roger Forbes, Chief Valuation Officer of the Department of Inland Revenue. Thanks again for joining us at Bahamas At Sunrise.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.